Before this morning ends, something inside you will either be rewired for abundance or quietly sentenced to another year of struggle. And the strange part is you won't even notice which one happened until weeks from now, when you look back and realize everything either shifted or stayed painfully the same. Welcome back to The Word Creates, the place where ancient wisdom meets the science of the mind, and where words stop being just sounds and start becoming the architecture of your life. Today we're going to talk about something so simple that your logical mind might want to dismiss it immediately, and that dismissal, that little voice whispering "this is too easy to work," is precisely the reason most people stay stuck while a small number of others seem to attract prosperity like it's following them around. There was a woman decades ago who understood this better than almost anyone alive in her time. She didn't have a fortune. She didn't come from privilege. She came from heartbreak, disappointment, and a marriage that fell apart, leaving her with nothing but her own thoughts and a growing suspicion that those thoughts were not as harmless as everyone believed. Her name doesn't matter as much as what she discovered, because what she discovered belongs to you now, in this very moment, whether you're driving, lying in bed, or sipping your coffee while the world outside hasn't fully woken up yet. She discovered that the subconscious mind does not distinguish between a thought spoken in passing and a thought spoken with conviction. It simply absorbs whatever is repeated, and then it builds. Imagine your mind as fertile soil that has been collecting seeds your entire life, seeds planted by your parents, your failures, your fears, your culture, your past relationships, and most of those seeds were never planted by you on purpose. They were simply dropped there while you weren't paying attention, and you have spent years watering them without realizing it. But here's where the story takes its first turn, because this woman didn't just diagnose the problem, she found the antidote, and the antidote was so short, so deceptively simple, that people who heard it for the first time often laughed. She began repeating a single sentence to herself, morning after morning, before her feet even touched the floor. "I prosper in everything I do." Just that. No elaborate ritual, no candles, no complicated visualization technique, requiring 20 minutes of concentration. Just a sentence said with feeling, repeated until it stopped sounding like a wish and started sounding like a fact. And if your mind is already protesting, already insisting that affirmations are nothing more than feel-good nonsense for people avoiding real work, stay with me, because there's a reason this particular phrase, structured in this particular way, has survived for nearly a century and is now being validated by neuroscience that didn't even exist when she first spoke it. Modern researchers studying neuroplasticity have confirmed something she intuited without a single brain scan. The brain physically rewires itself based on repeated patterns of thought, strengthening certain neural pathways while letting others fade away from disuse. Every time you say, "I prosper in everything I do," and actually feel it even for a flickering second, you are not engaging in wishful thinking. You are sending an electrochemical signal that tells your brain this is the new normal, this is who we are now, build accordingly. The subconscious doesn't argue with repetition. It doesn't ask for proof first. It simply obeys the dominant pattern, the same way water doesn't argue with gravity. It just flows downhill because that's the law it's following. And this is where most people unknowingly sabotage themselves without ever realizing they're doing it, because they say words of abundance in the morning and then spend the rest of the day reinforcing scarcity with every complaint, every comparison, every anxious scroll through someone else's highlight reel. The mind doesn't care which voice you believe more. It simply tallies the votes, and whichever thought gets repeated most often wins the election for what becomes your reality. So here's where the story shifts again, because this woman didn't stop at the affirmation itself. She taught that the real work begins the instant doubt creeps back in, because doubt will creep back in. That's not failure, that's just being human. The secret she passed down wasn't the absence of doubt, but what you do in the 60 seconds after doubt appears. Most people, the moment fear or lack shows up, immediately abandon the new belief and retreat to the old, familiar story of "this isn't working," or "things like this don't happen to people like me." But she insisted on something different. Meet the doubt, acknowledge it without fighting it, and then gently, without force, return to the sentence. "I prosper in everything I do," not as a denial of difficulty, but as a declaration of direction. Picture a ship in a storm. The captain doesn't pretend the storm isn't happening, but he absolutely refuses to let the storm choose the destination. That's what this practice really is. It's not delusion, it's command. And there's something almost rebellious about it, something quietly defiant, because in choosing those words deliberately, you are refusing to let your circumstances dictate your identity, and that refusal is exactly what begins to shift circumstances themselves slowly, Then suddenly, in ways that often look like coincidence to everyone except you. People who have practiced this for months report something strange. Opportunities that seem to randomly appear, conversations that lead to unexpected income, doors opening in places they swore were permanently shut. Skeptics call it coincidence. She called it law. Cause and effect, just operating on a frequency most people have never learned to tune into. And maybe that's the real reason this teaching has been buried, forgotten, rediscovered, and buried again across generations. Because it requires no permission, no gatekeeper, no special birth, no inherited wealth. It only requires a decision repeated daily, said with feeling instead of habit. Right now, in this very moment, you have the same access to this law that she had nearly 100 years ago. The same access that anyone throughout history has ever had, regardless of how empty their bank account or how heavy their circumstances felt at the time. So before you close this video, before you move on to whatever the rest of your morning holds, say it once quietly right where you are. I prosper in everything I do. Say it again tonight before sleep claims you, and again tomorrow morning before the noise of the world has a chance to plant its usual seeds first. Let repetition do what willpower alone never could. And if something in you felt even a small shift while listening to this, that's not your imagination. That's the soil of your mind already softening, already preparing for something different to grow. Subscribe to The Word Creates, because there are far more truths like this one waiting just beneath the surface. And the next words you hear might be exactly the ones your future is waiting on you to finally believe.